Okay, so I took a minute here to mix up a small batch of the Henrys. This mixes, and then instructions, 1 quart of this to 4 quarts of water, so 1 to 4. So I mixed up a batch of that, and we've got it right here with me. Again, this stuff is a bit caustic, so they recommend not touching it, with your bare hands. Got another sample piece here, and I think for this one, a piece of paper towel so I don't soak the entire fabric in there. And we'll take a look and see how that works. Very watery. The liquid itself is clear, and for flooring and such, they say, just put it on the flooring and let it sit, for like linoleum and tile and such, so that it can get underneath. And tell you what, I'm going to squeeze that out. Definite chemical smell, as you would probably expect. What I'm going to do here is just kind of lay that out and let it sit for a while. Okay. So while that's sitting, I'm going to take a minute and go back here to the Goo Gone. Got a little bit of sheet plastic stock, so I can kind of try and scrape on this and see if there's any luck there. So this glue is still bonded. All I'm doing is scraping up a pile of that Goo Gone gel, and I got nothing. So I'd say the Goo Gone is a no-show. Maybe if you let it soak for a day, could do something there. Okay, so the second one then is the lift-off foam sealant. Now this one I can see the fabric has now worked the opposite direction. So it seems to indicate it's had an effect there. Though I can feel on this one, I can tell the glue. I've scraped off here, if you can see, maybe not, but I've got a noticeable amount of white goo. So I'm assuming that's the glue. In fact, I could tease up the edge on the glue here a bit. Yep. So with the corner, I'm kind of scraping into the fabric, and I'm teasing up, hunks of the glue here. So it looks like, the lift off is working. It might need more time. Let me see how the fabric looks here. Let's kind of clean that off. And yeah, it looks like, it's hard to tell. It looks like the fabric is discolored. Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'm rubbing my finger where the fabric was, so where there was none of the lift-off applied, it's still very smooth and slippery. But as soon as I get to that area where the lift-off was on, like, touching the fabric is now, that rubbery feel when plastic starts to dissolve a little bit. So I would suspect, so yes, I'm pulling off hunks of the glue, but it looks like the lift-off is probably going to damage the fabric by the looks of things. Going around the edges here, yeah. I would say that while the lift-off looks like it'll remove the glue, yeah, it'll definitely remove the glue, but it's going to damage the fabric as part of the process. That's my assessment there. Let me see. I'll try a little bit of water here, see if that changes anything. No. So I'd say in my book right there that the lift-off is a non-starter. So not a good option there, I think. Okay. Keep this bit of cardstock clean there so we can come back to it. Alright. Now the Henry's is the one I think that concerns me the most, just because it is a industrial product. It hasn't sat for very long, but let's see if... Yeah, nothing yet. So we've barely given it the fair amount of time that we've had with the liftoff. So I'll let that sit for a bit. Okay, so while those are soaking, I'm going to come back and take a look at these ones that have been in the water and the vinegar. Water, of course, non-toxic, safe, right? And for me it was an option because the Oratex adhesive can be removed with water, but once it's dry, the statement is that it's on for good. So I'll start with this piece here in the water. Now, a little different treatment as well, right? Soak the entire piece in water, but I'm of the expectation that the water is not going to hurt the fabric. So right off the bat, boy, that still feels like it's on there solid. Well, actually, I can hit it with my fingernail and I'm teasing up the edge. Oh, son of a gun, look at that. Okay, so just soaking this in water, and I'm getting it to peel off almost entirely. That's a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that. Now again, this Oratex, yeah, look at that. This Oratex has only been brushed on. It has not been heated. Once you heat it, it basically melts the adhesive and makes, that permanent bond. And my expectation is that once you do that, it's not coming off. I mean, it's on there for good. So yeah, this is coming off pretty slick actually. So again, it's just like thin pieces of milk skin or something, right? You've seen that before. So there we go. I mean, I've just cleaned that entire, it's about a 3 by 3 inch patch, and it's off. Now of course, if you've covered your airplane, hopefully, right, you haven't got the Oratex stuck on there from the heating process. Maybe you're in good shape like me where you just pulled a knucklehead maneuver and forgot what you were doing. So I'm looking at this piece of fabric right now, and it's clean of the glue. So that's interesting. I didn't expect that. Just plain water. Okay, so there's that one. I have another piece here just for grins. Again, got more glue dried on there, so I'm just going to drop that in there again. Now the other one that I'm intrigued by, that I'm expecting, hopefully, I hope better results, is this one that's been in the weak vinegar solutions. So again, it's been in there about an hour and a half, something like that. So it's not a strong vinegar solution. Going over it, it's a little bit rough. I'm feeling some raised spots. Well, this is coming up also. Yeah, well, looks similar results to just the plain water. In fact, well, this is coming off even better. Right now I'm getting almost the entire, I got the entire piece of glue to come off of there. So that came off easier than the water. Another little spot here, one on the edge. But there you go. I have another clean and partially pickled piece of Oratex fabric. Wow, that's kind of exciting. It's exciting for me because, like I said, I got probably 10 square feet on each side of my airplane, more than that probably, that I applied some glue to, so I think I'll be trying that. And again, when I was looking at this, I didn't show it there, but you could see that the glue had changed color. These ones, when they dry clear. So you might be able to see that little patch on there from the camera angle. I'm not sure if you can. But when I pulled it out, it already had a whitish color. I'm going to try this again. I think what I'll do is drop it in, maybe let it soak overnight. Could be that after it soaks overnight that it'll just fall off, which I think would be interesting. I kind of gave some thought, if this actually worked, or like one of these solutions here, if they actually worked, that I would get maybe like a piece of 4-inch PVC that can handle the width of fabric that I have, mix up a solution and let it soak in there, get all over. So that's really interesting. I'm going to get in touch with the guys at Aircraft Fabric, with Lars and Paul, and find out if they have any information on that. My first concern would be that possibly the vinegar solution still might have a bad effect on the fabric. Right now I'm feeling it feels fine. It feels just like normal. Yeah, in fact, it feels tiny bit sticky right now, but I don't know if that's like a vinegar residue or what. If there's something on my hands, can't really tell. But I want to find out if that's actually safe, because you have you have acid in that vinegar. You don't want to damage the UV protection on there. So there you have it. I would say that the Goo Gone is a complete miss. The lift off, so caulk, silicone, foam sealant remover, a little too strong. It looks like it's damaging the fabric. It'll take the glue off, but you don't want to damage your covering. And then finally the Henrys. So I'll take a look at this, and let's take a second here and see what we got. Let's see if my fingernail can do anything. Well, I can lift a corner. That's been just a few minutes. Well, there you go. I'm lifting off the entire patch of glue there with my fingernail. The question then becomes, did it damage the fabric? So I'm looking at it here in the light. A little hard to tell. I'm going to get some water here and clean that off. Let's see what that looks like. Boy, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm leaving fingerprints on it. Could be just because it's a little bit wet still. Boy, I don't know. It's still a little hard to tell. So the Henrys would be probably up in the air. I don't smell anything on that, so who knows? I'll take a look at that and see. But again, there you have it. Some ideas to try. Hopefully the vinegar turns out to be a good option. It's all natural, right? No problems. Should fit well with the Oratex product. Maybe just soaking it in water is enough to do the trick. Thanks for your time. So again, this is Jim Farr. I'm a member of EAA UL1 up in Hartford, Wisconsin. I also go by the call sign Scoundrel. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, please shoot me a response in the comment line below. Thanks.